Our next guest is being hailed as one of the top singer-songwriters to enter the country music scene in quite some time. Lee Greenwood, just heard a little bit of your tune there. And you're back from Nashville, back to California.
We're on tour, actually, Bill. Just got back from Europe, as a matter of fact. Spent a few days in Nashville and then come on here to California. We were in the South for 3 days with Shelley and David and John Connolly.
Shelley West and David Frizzell.
Right.
All right. For those of us that don't all know the country music scene, we had her mom on last week.
Dottie?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
lady.
I was holding the granddaughter, Tess.
Really?
Yeah, beautiful child.
Wait, you were holding when?
Physically. They had some pictures. Boy, right away I get in trouble. I can see out this show's heading at.
When I said you've come back to California, I meant it as this is your hometown, your home state.
I was born in L.A. County. Never lived too much here. I went to school in Anaheim 1 year. As a matter of fact, one of my schoolmates was Bobby Hatfield from the Righteous Brothers, which you probably know quite well. But I was raised in the northern part of the state around Sacramento.
Now, how in the heck did you end up in Nashville, especially with country music?
Well, when I first started singing and performing, I left high school and went straight to Nevada. And I was in Nevada quite some time before running into a lot of the country people. Of course, their music was pretty much magic to me because it's where I was raised. But they asked me to come to Nashville and take some of my songs. And I only did that because I wanted a record contract. I didn't really just be a writer. I wanted to be an artist. And so with that stipulation of mine, we went down to Tennessee, and things happened really quickly.
So that just overnight move.
Yeah, it was, I had some hesitation because I'd recorded here in the coast with Paramount Records for about 3 or 4 years as a pop artist, and it didn't really happen for me. But I'm glad I went to Tennessee. It's beautiful there.
That is such a, at least those of us outside the Nashville community, we always hear about it as such a close family of performers, and we always see the Grand Ole Opry portrayed as everybody knows everybody and hangs around with everybody. Is that really the way it is, especially for an outsider coming into Nashville?
It is, but that clique that you've heard established for so many years is beginning to loosen up. There's a lot of new trends and a lot of new artists now in Nashville. Other than myself, Steve Warner, or Ronnie Millsap, or Sylvia, those people that are putting out different kinds of contemporary sounds. One of the acts we tour with all the time, Alabama, is a good example of that, which now draws from the pop side of the whole country and draws them into the country music field instead of holding them out, which has been the trend for so many years.
Would you like to be a crossover artist yourself? I guess you.
Oh yeah,
sure.
I want to reach as many people as I can with our music, you know. And I know there's a lot of people out there who've never heard our songs yet. Even though we had the longest running record in 1981 on any charts, which was It Turns Me Inside Out, which is why we named our album Inside Out. And we've had 3 hit singles since then, but so far, nothing into the pop field, and we really have to get out there and reach the major part of the audience.
You recently wrote a tune for Kenny Rogers that's on his new album. Now, when you write a song, do you write a song with a Kenny Rogers in mind, or do you write it with yourself in mind?
Well, this one I did, Bill. I wrote this one particularly for Kenny. And it was funny because after I wrote it to Kenny, we pitched it to Randy Goodrum, who was Kenny's producer at the time, living in Nashville, and Kenny was living in L.A. And I sent the song over to Randy through the MCA people at MCA Music, where I write. And they said, we're not looking for ballads, and it turned out that they did like it anyway and sent it to Kenny. And before the week was out, Kenny went in the studio and produced it himself. And then my producer heard the song, and he wasn't pleased that I'd let it go that quickly. But we're glad Kenny made it a #1 for us.
It's got to be a thrill to have somebody like Kenny Rogers do.
Oh, it was really exciting. Of course, we all had a toast to that around New Year's Eve. We were with the Oak Ridge Boys in Indiana, and it was kind of a time when we just found out the record #1 in Cashbox, and so we'd all had a big toast and said, "Here's your first #1 record." And it wasn't one I recorded. I was so mad.
Well, you could probably put it on one of your albums somewhere.
It is on my album, by the way.
Okay. Well, you perform quite a bit in a year's time. How often would you say?
Well, I guess we added it all up. I think around 280 days last year, and all of it on the road. Very little of it in Nashville, and the community. We do a few things there. It takes really a lot of time away from my writing and recording. Yeah, 280 days. And now, as I started by a single around the first of the year, I added a guitar player in February, the rest of the band in March, and I've added another player since then, and a coach. And now we're thinking about a second coach, and it's blossoming so fast I can hardly keep up with it.
All you guys travel together?
My band, yeah.
Yeah.
Not in the same room.
No, but I mean, I'm thinking, you have a bus.
Yeah. We call it a coach, a stagecoach.
Is this your own personal bus that was redone for you?
Well, actually belonged to Merle Haggard. It has a great history with it.
See, the country people, I mean, they got these buses and things like that, and I don't, rock and roll people don't do that sort of stuff. Not many, anyway.
Yeah,
but you got Merle Haggard's.
Yeah, one of his former buses, and we acquired it after his divorce, I think.
Oh, you got custody of his bus.
We got custody.
Yeah, that's all right. What is it like traveling with a bunch of people on a bus day after day, 280 days a year?
Well, if you were ever a Boy Scout, or you're ever in a marching band, it's like a bunch of guys getting on the bus and having a good time. That's kind of the way we try to keep it. It's fun, and we go a lot of places, and sometimes we get very tired, but it's exhausting after performance, and we get on that bus, and it's like our home. As a matter of fact, the song you were playing when we came on is one of my songs called Home Away from Home, and that's the name of our coach, is Home Away from Home.
You open up for acts like Alabama, the Oak Ridge Boys, you mentioned. What is it like to be the opening act for the main attraction?
Oh, it's exciting.
Do you feel like everybody's there just waiting for the main act to get on? Or?
Well, at first, maybe yes, but I've been a performer a long time, and I performed out in Nevada for several years trying to learn what you're supposed to do as a performer before I was a recording artist or even a writer. And boy, just give me the audience, and we perform in front of some star like Ronnie Milsap or something. The people are there to see him, but give me that chance. Just let me see what I can do. It's exciting to me. I love it.